Hello, eighth grade. We are jumping into lesson 6 today. Today, we are continuing from yesterday. So you're going to read chapter 3. You're going to answer text-dependent questions. And you're also going to track gist, plot, characterization, and themes, and sketch your own graphic panels. So I think yesterday that I completely forgot to take you guys back to the this graphic organizer. So before we start this lesson, I need you guys to go back and do chapter 2. So you need to write the gist for chapter 2. You need to add key plot elements for chapter 2 and character development and analysis for chapter 2. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now, and then come back to me and we'll get started on chapter 3. And again, that is my fault, but I do need you guys to go back and add that in. So please go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, so we do have an entrance ticket for today. I want you guys to work through this independently and then turn and talk and share your answers with an elbow partner, and then come back to me and we will look at the learning targets for today. All right, guys, so we have 3 learning targets today. The first says I can analyze how dialogue between characters and incidents in Mouse reveal aspects of character or provoke a decision. The second says I can analyze how specific word choices impact meaning and tone. And last, I can track gist, plot, characterization, and emerging theme ideas in order to track the development of theme. So let's go ahead and jump into reading. So today you guys are going to read chapter 3. I'm going to leave these questions up just like I did yesterday. So as you're reading, your teacher can stop and you guys can look at these questions when you hit those certain pages. And then come back to me when you're ready to move forward. So go ahead and start reading chapter 3 now. All right, guys, so I want you to think, pair, share. What is the gist of chapter 3? What are the key events that happened in the plot in chapter 3? And what examples of habits of character were evident in this chapter? So go ahead, think, pair, share, talk about these things with an elbow partner, and then come back to me and we will dive more into the lesson. All right, guys, so we are going to look at aspects of character. So we're going to continue looking closely at dialogue and trying to determine what additional information it reveals about aspects of character. So you guys have some text-dependent questions from chapter 3 in your workbook or on Google Classroom, depending on who your teacher is. So if your teacher instructs you to go to your workbook, please do that now. Or if you guys are used to working off of Google Classroom, then please do that now. But you're going to work through this independently and then come back to me and we will talk about this and go over this a little bit together. All right, guys, so let's look at these text-dependent questions and let's make sure you guys all got the correct answers. So for number 1, it's asking you, what does the statement reveal about his character? You should have chosen C. He believes food is a critical resource and should not ever be wasted. On page 45, panel 5, it's asking, what effect does this have, this particular piece of text? What effect does this have on the meaning of the information? And so you should have said something like, by using active voice, Vladek is emphasizing that his father carried out this action, removing his own teeth. Okay. Number 3 asks you, what kind of tone does this piece of text create? And you should have said A, it creates a frustrated tone. Number 4, what is implied by this statement? You should have said B, Vladek wants to keep strong mentally, spiritually, and physically. And then number 5, how would the following sentence on page 55, panel 2 be written in active voice to emphasize to the actors of the verb taken? So you would say A, the Nazis took us to wooden houses. 6, what incident provokes Vladek to volunteer? You should have said A, Vladek realizes if he does not take this opportunity, he could die in the camps. Number 7, again, this is asking, what does this piece of text reveal about Vladek's character? You should have said A, he is resourceful and always prepared for the unexpected. Number 8, says, what tone does this set? You should have said a frustrated tone. And then 9 asks you to write a response. And in your response, you should have included things like the tone, evidence from the text, and an explanation of what the statement reveals. So I'm going to read you an example response. So yours might sound something like this. If not, I want you to go back and edit it to make it reflect those three things and make sure they're in your response. Vladek's statement creates an urgent tone and conveys a sense of his resourcefulness. Vladek is trying to convince the train conductor that although he doesn't have the proper papers, he should have access to the train. He does this by appealing on the conductor's emotions, telling him he was in captivity, and speaking badly of their common enemy. This suggests that he is desperate to get home, yet resourceful in his approach. The last part of the statement, "back to my family," makes it clear that he is trying to appeal to the conductor's emotions. This urgent tone reveals that although Vladek is scared and anxious about getting on the train without papers, he is resourceful and uses agency to get his desired result. All right, guys. So I want you guys to go back to this note catcher next, fill in chapter 3 gist, do the key plot elements, character development and analysis. And I want you to do this individually, and then I will give you guys some time to turn and talk and share out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take about 10 minutes to fill this next section out, and then come back to me and we'll be ready to move forward. All right, guys. So chapter 3 gist, you might have said something like Vladek is drafted in the war and becomes a Nazi prisoner of war. Key plot elements for chapter 3. Vladek's father starves him to prevent him from meeting weight requirements for the draft. It works, but he is eventually drafted in the war against the Germans. Nazis capture Vladek. He starves and freezes at a prisoner camp. Vladek volunteers to work for a German company to live in better conditions, and after some months pass, Vladek is able to disguise himself as a Polish man and get back to his family. Okay. All right, let's look at character development and analysis. Vladek shows agency, bathing in cold water, doing gymnastics, praying. Volunteering for the German labor camp also shows strong will to survive. He has made a choice when given one to help himself survive, and Vladek does not give up. We are seeing him persevere. He will do anything to get back to his family. This shows how much he cares about them and also how resourceful he is in figuring out how to do it. An agency here, acting in his own interest, shows up as a deep will to survive and to get back to his family. All right, guys. So let's go and let's do some think, pair, share. So find a partner. So now that we've read the first 3 chapters of Maus, we can start thinking about what big idea or message might be coming out of the text. We've seen Vladek's deep sense of agency and perseverance and his will to survive. What is a possible theme emerging about this? Okay, go ahead and have some conversation with a partner about this particular question, and then I want you guys to share out with the class. So go ahead and pause the video and work through that now. All right, guys, again, here are some things I want you to discuss with your LO partners. We've seen Vladek's commitment to his family and to caring for them and ensuring their safety. What is a possible theme emerging from this? And then the second question, Art is interviewing his father and is learning things from him he has never heard before. What might the book be telling us about the power and importance of storytelling? What is a possible theme emerging from this? So go ahead, pause the video and have some discussion with your partner about this, and then share out as a class. Okay, guys, so you are going to be asked to sketch some graphic panels. So we're going to look at, I don't think it's on this particular one, but what I want you guys to do right now is I want you with a partner to talk about if you were creating your own graphic novel, much like the structure of what we're reading in class. I want you to answer these questions. What images would you include? What dialogue or captions would you include? What question might you want to ask Vladek? What aspects of the graphic novel format will be important to consider when you're creating your own graphic panels? So guys, I want you to go ahead. You're going to begin sketching out your ideas in class. So I want you to have some discussion with a partner about what this process might look like for you. This is the end of the lesson for today, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. You guys can leave this up and have some discussion with your partners, and then share out. I encourage you to share out and talk about this as a class so that everybody else can kind of feed off of everyone's ideas. I will see you guys soon with another lesson. Have a great day.